Hey, it's Heather here. I get on here and vlog and just talk about different subjects, um, to a degree, but they're always personal. That's what I'm going through. Um, Today I'm gonna kind of focus on talking about depression, and I'm gonna hope that my cat shuts up in the back because I'm really just in a kind of irritable mood. So you might hear me get on to him, but I'm just very pissy right now. I don't know what his deal is. But anyways, depression. I was gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about, people committing suicide and people wanting to commit suicide and so on and so forth. And how I'm battling depression and how I don't necessarily think that I don't know, because yes, the mind controls so much and the mind can control perception, you know, but you can't. You probably can rewire a brain to think certain things. I'm pretty sure, doctors could do that if they wanted to a degree, and everything. But if you're just, like average, born into your life, live your life, so on and so forth, then your brain is going to develop the way that it develops. Brains develop in the environment that they are stimulated by. And that's one reason a lot of people are else dealing with depression or anxiety right now, is because the environment. Simply put. I'm getting so irritated with him and I'm trying not to. Oh my God. I'm trying not to because I don't want to. I don't want to be irritated with him, but I want him to hush. I want him to realize that every day whenever I walk the dogs, that does not mean that he needs to meow for an hour afterwards. And I know that he wants attention and so on and so forth, but hell, everybody wants attention to a degree. I want attention. But, you kind of learn to pick and choose, and you kind of learn, okay, I want this person's attention, but then when that person doesn't give you attention, whether it's your parents or whatever, then you take whatever you can get to a degree, for as far as attention, and life is complicated. But anyways, yeah, I'm very irritated today. I just woke up a little while ago, took a shower, brushed my hair, blow dried it, brushed my teeth. That was hard for me to do, I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't extremely hard. I've been taking showers more frequent than what I have in the past. You'll see videos where I'm like, I haven't took a shower in like a damn week, or 2 weeks, or whatever. But it's like I've been taking one at least every 3, maybe 4 days here lately, if not every 3, I think, or every 2. But anyways, that's one thing that I watched was some videos last night, and it was talking about, how like I seen this one pop up and it was like, why is self-care so hard, and this and that and everything. And it is I don't even know how to word it. Like, I'm so scatterbrained because I get annoyed. I don't know if I have ADHD or ADD or whatever, but anyways, okay. So there's people over in other countries that we're taught about, right? In school, if you live in the US, you're taught about them. You're taught about them usually, hell, not even by school. You're taught about other countries and poverty over there, and them not having clean water to drink, much less to bathe in. And some of these people don't bathe for very long periods of time. Some of them do bathe daily, in filthy, disgusting water, but still that's the way that they live their life and that's the way that they carry on and everything. And it's like the standard is set. Well, over here in the US, it's like, especially, and I'm not saying that other people don't suffer depression, but environments affect, and even your personal individual environment, your family, your city, or town that you live in, the people that, the way that they behave and everything. Everything affects you, That's the reason I've always wanted to move ever since I had a kid, because I don't like the way all this has affected me and her now. And I'm like, yeah, because I was working towards that. All I had to do was get my license in a car. Now I got a license. Now all I got to do is get a car, but now I've got to get my kid back. And yes, that's pissing me off. But, cat, please shut up. For the love of Jesus up in heaven, make that cat hush, please. I'm on the verge of like a nervous breakdown to a degree, like just screaming. And then like you can't do that. Like that's like, I don't know. Society is so backwards. Nothing makes any fucking sense. It's like, oh, take a shower every day so you can go to a job that you work 8 to 10 hours at. That way you can sweat your ass off. Oh, you work a job, and women, like that have long hair. Oh, you can't have your hair down. You have to have your hair up at the type of job that you're working at. To have a job where you can have your hair down, then you have to, continue with school, so on and so forth, and everything like that. That way you can have your hair down. Then another thing, too, is the jobs where you have your hair up for the most part and everything. Like, you're supposed to at that job, it's required, so on and so forth and everything. So you're spending the majority of your day, because if you take 10 hours, so that's like 2 hours to get ready for work, to get ready for the rest of your day after work, the 8-hour shift, and all that and everything. And then if you do the 8 hours of sleep, so there's 18 hours of your day done gone, right? So you only have 6 hours left to do things for yourself. And then if you have kids, that's just a whole nother ballpark. And then if you have pets, then you're adding more. And sometimes I think that's one reason my parents enjoyed taking my kid from me, is because they used to gripe all the time about the amount of pets that we had and say that it was too much, it was too much, it was too much. And I agreed that our last dog that we got was probably too much for me and my kid, for the fact that we don't have a yard to let them out in. I was like, but, if you keep toughing it out, let me get a car, let me get a license, we'll get the hell out of here, and we'll have a yard. That way we can let them out. That way it's less stress. They're kind of taking care of themselves a little bit to a degree, because they got a yard that they can go out, and play in and romp around and be rough with each other and exercise that way. And they can potty out in the yard, and we don't have to walk them because it's a fenced-in area. But anyways, that didn't happen, and my parents tried to force us to get rid of our dog and cat and stuff, and then started talking shit about us, saying that we were crazy for as many pets as we had, yet they were the ones that helped us to take care of the pets. Hypocrisy is everywhere. But anyways, I'm so sorry. I'm done 8 minutes in and I ain't really even talked about depression. Depression, suicidal thoughts, all that. I'm sitting here right now, and this morning, I'll go ahead and be honest, and I hope somebody fucking appreciates this somewhere. I hope somebody appreciates my damn honesty somewhere, because I looked up last night about my kid getting her back, and it's like, oh, the 7 things to do and not do, to get your child back and get your child custody case going. Don't do this, don't do that. And I was like, I done did that, and even though it was months ago, like 5-6 months ago, or 4 months ago at least, or, it's been a minute, and then it's like, oh, if you put something up on social media, don't delete it. And I just thought to myself, okay, so I gotta go back and get evidence on myself, that way if it's brought up in court, I can be like, yes, I did say it. But then I was like, what? It's obvious I said it, You know, it's up there, you know? And I thought that would be stupid, you know, and everything. And then I was just like, what the fuck ever? And so then I was like, and you're not supposed to delete it? But what if you wrote it months ago and you've moved on? That's in the past. And that's the thing that people love to do. And that, oh my God, I get him more than I ever have kind of in this instant with my kid's dad, because he's a meth addict and he's like, people won't stop bringing up my past. But the thing is you're not resolving your past. You're not resolving your past issues. And I understand that completely, because I used to be like, just sit down and talk with me. Talk with me. Tell me what you want. Present day. What do you want right now? You know, and then it's like, oh, well, I want to have my kid and take my kid, you know, and do this with my kid. And I'm like, you understand that you've broken every bit of trust I ever had in you, and you're going to have to regain it. And he's like, well, I guess I just won't come and get her then. And so I'm like, you know, and it's like, what do? Do I let him take her and spend time with her since he's been clean for 10 months, you know, even though I don't trust him? And, you know, but that's it, and I kind of stand my ground on how often that can occur, you know. Or do I tell him no, and that he needs to come over here and gain trust with me and with her and play with her in her room, you know, and hang out with her in her room, you know? Like, I would have adored to be like, hey, you know, go in there and play games with her and do whatever. And them doing whatever, and I could actually clean the house without my kid in the way. I would have fucking adored that. But no, he wouldn't do that. Oh my God, I'm being so bitchy. But anyways, back to depression. So this morning, and you know, the courts and all that, I'm just like, I mean, I want my kid back more than anything. But if it doesn't happen, then there's nothing I can do about it. And people are like, oh, you know, you could have and this and that. But you do what you think is the best. And right now, making these videos is the best for me. It may not seem like it. It may not feel like it. There may even be a little voice in the back of my head that's like, don't do that. Don't do, you know. But it's like, I don't know what else to do, is the best way to put it. I don't know what the fuck else to do. Every time I try to do something else, guess what? It's 10 times harder. And then that puts 10 times more pressure on me. And then that makes me 10 times more depressed than what I already am. And concluding I'm already this depressed, and I'm doing this, and this is kind of keeping me, you know, stable and everything. Because, I mean, I had a kid that I seen every day, and I'm a single parent, so it was, hey, baby, you know, and how's your day, and what have you been up to? And show me your projects, and oh, you got homework, and this and that. I had somebody to talk to. They took that away from me. And it's been taken away from me for over a fucking year now, you know? And it's just like, hi, empty house. Nice to see you, empty house. That reminds me of every memory that I've had with my child over the past couple years. I'm already depressed. Thank you, empty house. Anyways, depression. So this morning, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll see how I was like, you know, I'm about tempted to just kill myself on Christmas and just be like, Merry Christmas to everybody. And so I'm laying in bed this morning, I'm like, oh, it's so warm, I'm so comfortable, I don't want to get up. I'm sleeping so good, but I have to get up because the dogs have been barking, like, they barked like twice. And granted, they only barked for like 2-3 minutes, and it was like 30 minutes apart, but I was like, that means if something else happens, something really loud happens, and they hear it, they're going to bark for a long, long time. I know my dogs, you know, and I'm like, I gotta get up, and I gotta get them out of their cage, and I gotta walk them, and then I gotta feed them, and then I gotta water them, and then I gotta take care of the cats, and feed and water them, and I might have to change their litter boxes today, and I gotta do this, and my house is not the cleanest of the clean, and that's another thing, too, about dealing with depression in a video that I watched. But anyways, back to me laying in bed this morning. I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, yep. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, I don't want to see anybody Christmas, because the one person I want to see is my kid, and everybody has taken that away from me, and they're enjoying the hell out of it. And I was like, should I? Like, I was like, I was like, I don't want to see nobody. I was like, if somebody was to invite me, like, say my friend Jen was to invite me and be like, you can come over Christmas night and eat supper with us, at least that way you're spending some of your Christmas day with somebody. I thought to myself, I would say no, that I don't want to. And then, I might be like, or I'll think about it, but I want to spend my Christmas with my daughter. I want to spend Christmas Eve with my daughter. I want my daughter at home. I want my daughter in her bed. I want her to be here so that way I feel like putting up the Christmas tree. I want her to be here that way I feel like putting up the Christmas lights. But she's not. And so what's the purpose? Because of a routine for me? A routine that I carried over from my childhood. And a routine that about died out in my childhood. And I had my daughter young. So anyways, I'm laying there in bed this morning and I'm just like, I'm going to do it. I'm like, I'm going to take a bunch of pills, and I'm just going to go and buy some drinks and I'm going to chug that shit down and I'm going to lay in bed and I'm going to lay here until I die, like internal bleeding, bleed to death or whatever, or this and that, and however it's going to make my body, shut down. And I thought that this morning. And that is depression. Depression is the negative thoughts impeding in your mind so bad because you've heard so much negative shit from everybody. You don't know how to shut it off. And so last night I was watching this video. I watched 2 videos last night. One was talking about, what was it? Dealing with, like, standing up for yourself and setting boundaries, dealing with a narcissist. The other was just talking about, like, narcissists in general and the way that they behave and why staying on the right path is so critical. And the second one where it was like, oh, staying on the right path is so critical and all this and, and everything, and why it's so hard and how you have to be and everything, there was things that the person said and I was like, holy shit. Technically, you could say that I've been narcissistic with my daughter. But the thing is even though it's like, oh, I've been narcissistic with my daughter, I haven't. And one thing that really offended me in the video is she's like, oh, your parent, like will call you, and bombard you with phone calls and be like, if you don't call me and let me know anything, or let me know, I'm going to call the cops. Well, I've done that with my kid because my dad pulled a gun on me when I was like anywhere from 13 to 15, held me at gunpoint, held my sister at gunpoint, has threatened to kill us I don't know how many times, and I am scared to death that I'm going to have a police officer show up on my porch one day and tell me that my baby girl's not alive. And tell me, that my dad snapped, Nobody knows what it's like to go through that. And to worry so much. See, that's the thing that they did to me. That they're getting me on. They're getting me on me putting a belt around my neck in front of my child and asking her if she wanted me to kill myself. And they're getting me on me asking my daughter and, like, enraged with the situations of everything and saying to her, honey, I'm doing everything I can. Do you want me to kill us as a family? I'll take that responsibility on myself. And I'll kill us as a family so that way I know you die and you go to heaven and you don't have to deal with nobody being mean to you anymore. And they got me on that. But yet the courts don't give a shit where I learned that behavior from. And they don't give a shit that I didn't do any actions towards my daughter. And they don't give a shit that my dad did that to me. And nobody gives a shit about me. And nobody gives a shit about my feelings. Oh, God. Do you know what it's like to find out that God is the only one that you can depend on to keep your daughter alive when your daughter is only 12? When you have no control. When it's completely stripped of you. Oh, they went and took temporary custody. Now she belongs to them. That's like stealing property. I love how dogs can be seen as property. Dogs can be seen as property. But yet children with their parents, there's not even a little bit of a leniency on that side. Do you know how hard it is to have trust in God? That the very man who pulled a gun on you and your own sister, the very man who has told you multiple times, oh, I about laid my bike over today and just said fuck it and killed myself because he rides a motorcycle, my dad does. Or do you know how many times I've thought about just running the car off the road, or down off a bridge and killing myself? And then all the times that he would come in and he'd be mad and he'd be like, I'm going to kill every damn one of you bitches. And then the time that he even told my sister, and I love how my sister's the golden child, so she's going to kiss ass because she was showing up to the court dates to take their side, to be a little dipshit towards me. But my sister's the one that came and got me when my baby was a few months old and she was sitting on the couch eating one of her little teething cookies. And my sister came and got me. I was finishing getting ready, I was finishing, like, what was I doing? I think I had to brush my hair. That's right. I had my hair down and I was going to try to keep it down. And as soon as I went and got her all cleaned up, because she took a shower with me, got her all dressed and gave her a cookie, and I set her on the couch. She stuck her hands in my hair, and I was like, nope, this ain't gonna work. So I went to my bedroom and brushed my hair and started to pull it up. And my sister come in there with my daughter on her hip. And my sister's not very, ever been very concerned to the degree, emotional attachment with my daughter. And she come in my room and she's like, we're leaving now. And I was like, what? What do you mean we're leaving now? And she's like, we're leaving now. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because he said he's going to kill every damn one of us, starting with that fucking baby. And she's like, so we're going over to my friend's house. God's all I got. I mean, I done knew that, but I didn't need to be reminded of it. It's a power struggle. Let me strip you of your power. I read this thing last night, and it was talking about the truth and a lie, and how, you know, the lie convinces the truth to like hang out with it or whatever and get in this well, take a bath, if you will. And it's a famous painting done by somebody. And the lie hops out and puts on the clothes of the truth and runs around acting like it's the truth. And the truth, you know, runs out naked, you know, trying to find its clothes and can never find them. And so then the truth just, you know, shrivels up, if you will, and hides in shame. That's practically my life in a nutshell. That's what everybody is helping everybody to do to me. I miss my kids so much. I miss her so much. Because I worry about her so much. I have no way to protect her from where I'm at. The only way I have to protect her is to pray. Anyways, let me try to get off the topic of myself some here and talk about depression. So I'm laying in bed and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna commit suicide. And then I'm laying there and then I'm thinking about the video that I seen and how at the end of it she was like, think of yourself as your own parent. And when she said that, you know, and have set standards for yourself and you're teaching people how to treat you and so on and so forth. And so I looked around at my house and I was like, yeah, this could be straightened up better, that could be cleaned up better, this could be better, that could be better, I could have. And so that's what I did, you know, this morning whenever I got up, I was like, what can I do good right now? And I was like, well, I can take a shower, I need to take a shower, so I took a shower. And then I'm like, well, I could blow dry my hair. I don't want to blow dry my hair, but I'm going to blow dry my hair. I need to blow dry my hair. It's cold outside. And then it was like, I need to brush my teeth. I don't want to brush my teeth. I don't care to brush my teeth. Why should I care to brush my teeth? And then I thought to myself, okay, if Ava were home and I was talking to Ava, I'd be like, you need to brush your teeth, you know. And that's another thing, too, that was happening between me and her. That's my daughter. Whenever she was home, I'd be like, Ava, you need to do this. Why? You don't. She was getting to that point, you know, that teenage, why? You don't. Why? You don't. And it's like, I'm just trying to make you be better than me. But, so I was like, I don't want to brush my teeth. And then I was like, fuck, I'm going to brush my teeth. And so I did, because I was thinking about Ava and how, like, if I was like, Ava, brush your teeth, and she's like, no, I'd be like, yes, I said so now, you know. And so I did that to myself. I was like, no, do it now, you know. So I brushed my teeth, and then I was like, I really need to probably floss them again, even though I flossed last night. And then I was like, come on, floss your teeth. And then I was like, I don't want to floss my teeth. Like, I was having this internal with myself. Floss your teeth. I don't want to floss my teeth. Floss your teeth. I don't have to floss my teeth. Floss your teeth, you know. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And then I was like, I really, really don't want to, and it's kind of stupid since I'm just waking up and I'm gonna eat and stuff. I was like, I don't want to floss my teeth. And then it was like, okay, fine, you don't want to floss your teeth. Like, I was kind of surprised at myself for that reaction to a degree. But I was like, okay, you know, don't floss your teeth right now. but at least floss them tonight before you go to bed when you brush your teeth tonight. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And I thought to myself, holy shit, that sounds exactly like what I would say to Ava. You know, in the mornings I'd be like, Ava, you know, you need to brush and floss your teeth. I don't want, you know, and all that, you know. And so, and, you know, the whole floss your teeth tonight, at least. That way they get flossed at least once a day, you know, and everything. And I thought that's what it is it's my rules, you know, and it's my rules that have lacked so much that they went over into lacking with my daughter, you know, and everything. But it is so hard to have rules on yourself when society's rules go against you. There is some rule that you're going to have, that you're going to form. And you're going to find that people love to find a rule just so they can attack it. And that's another thing, too, that the woman was talking about, was having boundaries and stuff. And so then, just before shooting this video and everything, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to clean the house. And then I thought, but I don't feel like it. And I thought, you know, I thought about crying and being like, you know, why don't I feel like it? And that's stupid, and I'm being selfish, and I'm being lazy, and I'm being narcissistic, and being like, I don't care to clean right now, you know, and it's a little messy, you know, and it's not even that bad. It's just I got a pack of cards that's sprawled out on the floor, and it needs to be swept or vacuumed, and that's practically it. I got like 3 dishes. I got a box of cereal and some cookies sitting on the stove that need to be put up, but that's it, you know. And my papers need to be stacked that's on my coffee table, but that's an every day, like 5 times a day thing, because I'm constantly moving them and finding something to write on and draw and whatever, but mainly just to write or read or whatever. But so anyways, it was like, oh, you know, you boundaries and all that. And then I thought, you know, why don't I want to clean? And I thought, because I don't feel good. And it's like you have to have compassion with yourself and everything. And this is where the whole, you know, oh, depression is a sickness thing, you know, and everything. And it was like, if Ava was home and I said, Ava, you know, clean your room. And she said to me, Mommy, I don't feel good. Then I would, you know, what's wrong, you know, and my tummy hurts, you know, or whatever. And, oh, you know, what did you eat last? You know, what you eat at school today? You know, did you eat a salad? Maybe you just need to go to the bathroom, you know, or, you know, did you eat a bunch of fruit, you know, or, you know, have you ate too many sweets, you know, in the conversations of, you know. And then, I don't know, no, I don't think so. Was anybody else sick at school? You know, yeah, my friend, you got stomach virus, you know. Okay, you don't feel good, you know, well, lay down. Let me go get the thermometer and check to see if you're running a fever, you know, and all that and everything. And so that's pretty much where I ended with that, because I was just like, before I started shooting this video, because I was like, you need to straighten up the house, you know? And I was like, but the house is literally, and that's the thing too about my landlord getting on to me for my home being filthy in her mind. And I'm thinking, it's not filthy to me. And that's another thing too, is like perception and everything. And maybe you weren't taught better that this woman was talking about. And maybe your standards, you know, were set lower and all this. This is normal. The way I'm living right now is my normal. This is the way my grandmother's house looks on a daily, and this is the way that my parents' house looks on a daily. Now, granted, it may not seem like it does, but you don't live with them 24/7. You've never lived with them 24/7. I've lived with them for 15 years, and then, you know, 7 years, and then 2 years, and so on and so forth, you know? I know what normal is there. And so this is normal to me. And you coming in and bitching at me for my normal, you know, like, fuck you, you know? And so that's where I'm at. I'm like, well, I'm doing the normal amount in my mind, what's set, what has been set, but I'm not doing the normal amount says society, says my landlord, says all these other people. And like I said, I looked around and it's like, but I don't want to. And just like if it was my kid, but I don't want to, well, why don't you want to? Because I don't feel good. And that's me. I don't feel good. What do you do with that? I don't have a mom, that's going to step in and do what needs to be done to make me feel good. I don't have a dad that's going to do that. I've never had that. I don't even have a grandparent that's going to do that because they don't understand depression, and they sure as hell don't understand the damage that they've done to me to cause the depression because they're in denial. And so it's like, oh, we want to make you not be depressed. Here, take this pill. And that's just like me with my kid, Here's this medicine to make your stomach feel better. I don't want to take it, Why don't you want to take it? And like the reason I don't want to take antidepressants is because I don't have nobody living with me. So if I go completely insane because I'm on an antidepressant, and it states antidepressants can make you more depressed. If I'm done this depressed normally, and I've been this depressed normally, the thoughts come in my head. And one of my friends, Jen, she's talked about what is it like where you like hell, I don't know how to word it. Suicidal idolation, where you idolize people that have committed suicide. I don't have that. I don't look at people that have committed suicide like my friend, and sometimes I think she says that because she thinks that I might have it, and I'm not sure, and I, haven't talked to her about it because I've just been letting it go and stuff, but I'm just like, that's not what I have, I don't sit here and look at my friend Steven and think, boy, he's got the life now, I miss him, and I wish he was here, if anything. And that's the reason I hold on, is because I don't want somebody to miss me and wish I was here. But it's really hard when you feel like nobody wishes you was here because the way they're all treating you. But, so, say my kid, I don't want to take the medicine, And like I said, I don't take antidepressants, and granted, I could go to a hospital probably and stay long enough to take, but a hospital environment is not going to show the same stressors as everyday life, They're not going to be able to put me in a hospital environment and somebody be with me 24/7. And they're going to let me have my dogs and my cats and my job and paying my bills and a car and driving the car and the car insurance and my daughter, and her life and her complaining and her stuff. They're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to simulate my life in a hospital for 3 months or however long to be like, which antidepressant would be good for you? I don't have anybody that's going to do that for me. And I don't have anybody that if it does happen, like say I were to take an antidepressant and I were to become more suicidal or depressed or whatever, however you want to word it, and say I'm sitting here and I'm fixing to commit suicide. See, if I was with my grandmother, my dad, or my mom, and I did that, if I would have took antidepressants while I was with them, my dad would have had a psychological break, or snap, or whatever you want to call it. If I'm standing there and like say I have a loaded gun and I'm holding it to my head, okay? Instead of him talking me out of it, he's going to go get a gun and he's going to shoot all the rest of us, you know, or he's going to shoot me and be like, you know, I was just helping her because I'd rather me take her life than her take her own. That's what my dad's going to do, okay? I can't trust him, okay? My mom is just going to flip the fuck out and be like, whatever, and just go. She's going to hide. She ain't going to do shit. But she ain't gonna do shit. She ain't gonna do a damn thing about it. In all honesty, she'd probably be like, whatever, shut up. God, I'm so tired of you. Matter of fact, she has been like that with me once. And that's when you realize, oh, you know, I'm alone and I have to take care of me and my own emotional responses. And she just practically said she don't give a shit if I do kill myself. Fuck. But I do. She don't, but I do. And then, hell, I was with my grandmother when I tried to commit suicide almost 6 years ago. And all she did was bitch at me. And scream at me, kinda. She didn't really scream, she hollered. She didn't scream, but she hollered at me. What did you do? Did you take those pills? What's going on with you? My God! You've lost your mind. Or instead, I would need somebody that if I were to snap, because I'm on it, if I took an antidepressant, it made me more depressed and I was to snap, I'm going to need somebody that can reprimand me in a positive light, I guess is the best way to put it, in a positive way. Somebody that if I'm holding a gun to my head, they're going to talk me out of it. They're going to tell me to not do it. They're going to tell me that they love me and that they wish I wouldn't do it. And I don't have anybody like that except for my kid, in all honesty. I guarantee you, you know, my kid, that's just like when I did put the belt around my neck in front of her and I jerked it and I said, is this what you want? She smiled at me, unfortunately, because we're all fucked up in my family, I reckon. But after she, you know, realized that smiling was not the best reaction, which is the same situation with me when one of her cats died, I was like, and I broke it to her and I was like, I have something to tell you, you know, and I couldn't stop smiling. And it's not because it's like, oh, you got brain damage and you're retarded, you know, which I can't, you know, but there was a part of my brain that was like, if I smile through it and I'm like, he's in heaven, it'll make it okay. Of course, I'm smiling like 5 seconds into telling her, and she's like, why are you smiling? And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, cause I'm trying to show you that, you know, it's a good thing, you know, that he's dead and he's going to heaven and, you know, he's not in any pain anymore, you know. And it's like in New Orleans, you know, they celebrate death, you know, they have parties when people die because they're going to heaven, they're going to the afterlife, and they cry when people are born. And I told my kid that I wish that we were like that, you know. And, but anyways, and it was literally around the same damn time, so that's another reason that I was, like, trying to smile through it and be like, you know, yay, he's dead, kinda, and, like, he'll never have any pain anymore, you know? But anyway, so my kid smiled, and then she covered her face, and then she, like, wouldn't show her face anymore because she's smiling, and, you know, I'm kind of even smirking, you know, and I'm like, it's not funny, and I'm like, I'm being serious, you know, and she's like, I know, and she's like, no, I don't want you to, and I was like, okay then, can you just shut up? Because that's what she was doing that day, what she does. I mean, she's my kid, but she was just talking incessantly. And see, With my mom was so narcissistic that when I was told to shut up, when I rambled on, I shut up out of complete and total fear. Like, I was afraid she'd go get my dad would pull a gun on me and blow my head off because I was talking too much. So I learned at a very young age that no matter how bad I wanted to talk to my mom, to shut the fuck up unless my mom gave me the window or the opportunity to talk to her. Where with my kid, she talked to me every day, every day, every day. And I'm talking 3 and 4 hours of the same. This bully really gets on my nerves. And did I tell you? And this about school and that about school, and this, and then for the courts to agree for my child to be taken from me. The one person that helped to keep me positive, not stable necessarily, but yes, to a degree, yes, more stable than I've ever been in my whole fucking life. Okay? The one person who I haven't built my stability around her because I understand she's a child. But the one person that I feel the most stable, the most comfortable with, the one human being that I feel the most comfortable with, you took her from me. That makes me want to go, okay, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so or whoever, let me take your wives away from you, your husbands away from you. I would love to go and claim insanity on my dad, which in all honesty, we've talked about, okay? My mom, my aunt, my uncle, my other aunt, my grandmother have all talked to me about turning my dad in, okay? Taking him to a mental asylum, okay? Having him, diagnosed or whatever, trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with him. We've all talked about it. Not a lot, but still, in my lifetime. And this is the man that you decided to give temporary custody to, of my daughter. This world's going to hell in a handbasket, as my grandmother would place it or say it. But I'd love to take my dad away from my mom. Not to be cruel, but just for a dose of yawn medicine. Say my sister goes on vacation during the summer and she takes her kids with her. And say I have Ava, my daughter, back. And my dad has to go and have a psychiatric evaluation done. And he has to stay in the hospital to have it done. And he's gone for 3 months. And so she don't see nobody for a whole month. I'd love to see what that would do to her. But in all honesty, she's such a narcissist, she would probably enjoy it in all honesty. She'd be like, oh, it's so quiet and peaceful around here. You know what? I think I'm going to hop in the car and I'm going to go buy me something with any money that I have. I'm going to go buy me clothes that I couldn't buy when he was home because he would gripe at me. But anyways, I was going to try to focus more on talking about depression and stuff. But I mean, I guess you can kind of get the gist of it, or the gist of it, if you watch and everything. But yeah. Oh, but like I said, it's like, oh, I don't want to clean my house any more than I have because I don't feel good. And so it's like my kid, I don't feel good. My tummy hurts, And then the whole medicine thing. I don't want to take the medicine. Why don't you want to take the medicine? Because, like say my daughter would have had a sibling, and say she would have witnessed her sibling, get sick off of this medicine several times, and say it's like Pepto-Bismol, for instance, because that's something that I myself cannot take. And so say, she has a sibling, her sibling, I'm like, well, all we got in the house right now is Pepto-Bismol, and say she's watched her sister take it, and it took her sister taking it 3 times, throwing it up 3 times, for me to be like, okay, you can't take Pepto, it's not good for you. And so say that Ava, has never taken it, let's say, and this is all, but this is an example of like dealing with depression and antidepressants. And so I'm like, here, take this Pepto. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like, why don't you want to? And she's like, because the 3 times that Sissy took it, Sissy got sick and she threw it all up everywhere and she can't take it. And so I probably can't take it. So that's me with antidepressants. You hear the stories of the people, oh, they were on antidepressants, or they had to come down off of them because they couldn't afford them no more, or their medical insurance got changed and they couldn't have them no more, and this and that, and and they ended up committing suicide anyway. So what good that did them? You hear those stories. And I've heard enough of those stories that I'm like, no. And so that's just like if my kid refuses no, and my kid suffers with an upset stomach for a day or two, you know? And so I'm saying no to the antidepressants, and so I suffer. I don't take antidepressants. I suffer. I suffer with it, and I've suffered with it every day. It's like I'm a pro at this shit. Imagine people that they've had an illness or an ailment or whatever, that, it's something every day. They're normal, even if it's, oh, I got a broke pinky, or even if it's like, there was this guy I went to school with, he had an extra, like, pinky or whatever. You deal with something, it's part of you, you accept it, you move the fuck on. But when you're trying to do that and people want to find out what's wrong with you, see, that's the sickening part. I've known I'm depressed. I talk openly about it. When I've met people over the past 3 and 4 and 5 years, especially since I've been living out here on my own, in my own place, it's like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, oh, I battle depression. It's like, oh, that's going to be her weakness. That's going to be her Achilles heel. That's what we're going to get her on. So anytime she does anything wrong to us and we don't like it, even if it's the tiniest thing and we're just a little peckerhead asshole like everybody has been being to me, oh, we're gonna get her on that. She does something we don't like, we're gonna get her on that. And guess what I did that my parents didn't like? This is the big kicker. This is what happened between me and my parents. My child was coming home complaining about being babysat over there, complaining that she had to watch my youngest niece and she had to deal with my oldest niece, and that it was annoying her because my child is the only child. She's used to being this little pedestal baby of mine. And so she's coming home complaining about it. And so I'm giving her the option at first, for the first few months of me having my new job. Well, do you want to go get babysat, or do you want to come sit in the lobby of the place that I work at? So then we're piddling back and forth between this. Yes, I want to be babysat. No, I don't. I got mad at them. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. I get fed up because I'm tired of the complaining, and I'm tired of the indecisiveness of she can't pick, and instead she's going between the two. So I tell her flat out, you're not going over there no more unless I say so. So for the rest of the time, you're coming over and you're sitting in lobby. And the thing about her sitting in lobby, some people might be like, oh, that's cruelty. Okay, there's air, there's heat, okay? Even at that, she can bring a jacket, she can bring a blanket, okay? There's booths. She could go to sleep in the booth, okay? She's always in my sight where I was working. She's not itty bitty. She's not teeny tiny. She's not a little child. And then even at that, to a degree, if you've raised your child with enough common sense, you get what I'm saying? And everything. The place where we work, there are cameras If something was to happen to my daughter, best believe it's going to be documented, you know. She knows to ask for permission to go to the bathroom, so that way I know she's in the bathroom, so that way I can keep an eye on when she comes back. So that way if she's gone for 20 minutes, I'm going to go check on her. And she has all the food to a degree that she can eat to a degree. Because I worked at a restaurant. And then she had her phone, so she could get on her phone and watch YouTube videos and listen to music. And my parents didn't like it. My parents didn't like that there was times that my daughter was like, but I want to go be babysitting. And I was like, no, you're coming and you're sitting in lobby. Because you don't complain as much. I don't have to hear complaints. When you go over there, you always come back and you're always upset about something. And as a matter of fact, proof in that, my daughter wanted to let her hair grow out really long and be like Rapunzel. She has had her hair cut at least twice in this year of living over there. Her hair is now shorter than mine. Her hair was longer than mine before this happened. And she's trying to say, oh, I changed my mind. It's easier to take care of now. She's been coaxed into it's easier to take care of now and fuck what I originally wanted. My daughter, ever since she has seen the movie Tangled, and we don't even own it, bless her heart, okay? We don't even own the movie. We don't have cable. I'm poor, okay? But we don't even own that. We don't even own friggin' Frozen, okay? What most people own Frozen for their daughters. But instead, when I did have money, was buying all the Madagascar movies because she loved the Madagascar movies, or Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball, or The Croods, or any other movie that she liked, because they were cheaper and I could get more of them because their prices, where these things are like $20, $25 fucking dollars. And it's like, no, I can get these things for $5, and she liked these movies when they came out and she wanted them, just like the Smurfs. We have the Smurfs. And then there's other movies that my child's wanted that we don't have. Just like there's toys that she's wanted that we don't have. Just like I've wanted a car for a very long time and I don't have. But anyways, my child has had her hair cut twice, and I'm talking quite a bit off of it too. And when I seen her at Thanksgiving, I was like, you got your hair cut again. And I said it disappointed a little, And she's like, well, yeah. And I just heard my mom whenever she said this. She's just, well, yeah. I mean, it's easier to take care of like this, and it's actually healthier. That's my sister right there, Miss Cosmetologist. And it's actually healthier because I got it cut. And yeah, I don't like it real long because it gets in the way. And Delaney, which is my niece, she still gets her hands in it. And that way, Michaela, which is my other niece, that way they're not tugging on it and accidentally setting on it and stuff like that. Because they used to do that to her. I would be in the car in the passenger seat. My mother's in the driver's seat. And my niece, my oldest niece, would purposefully, to be mean, because she's manipulative, would purposefully set on my daughter's hair. And I know this because I would be sitting there watching her in the mirror. I would see her do her little sly eye movement, looking to see where Ava's hair was, because Ava just did the hair move of this, and then tried to put it all back behind her and lean back on it, so that way it's guarded, and she's sitting in the middle or the side, and my niece is sitting beside her. But Ava's hair's so long, it's hanging down here. It's all, frizzed out, if you will, And so Ava's sitting there like that with her arm like that. Her hair would be sticking out like this. My oldest niece would lean up against Ava's hair on purpose. I'm watching it all happen in the mirror. And I'm giving warnings like, Michaela, don't be sitting on Ava's hair, And, remember, Ava has really long hair. Ava's wanting her hair to be really long. Respect her. Don't sit on her hair. And then Ava would be sitting there, doing her own thing, not realizing that, her hair is like to the side over here and my niece is up against it. And then she would like lean forward for something, whether it's the charger for her tablet or whatever. And she'd be like, ow, and she'd be like, Michaela, get off my hair. And Michaela would just snicker. And then I'd be like, Michaela, and we had to get on to them I don't know how many times. And my mom even got so mad and was like, Ava, I just don't see why you just don't cut your hair. So my daughter to cut her hair, that way it's easier for her. That way it's easier. Do what's easy for you. And that's the thing with everybody. Where does that line get drawn at? And so, anyways, my daughter had her hair cut. And that was a goal that we both were excited about, even though I was excited because I thought she was going to let me, like, braid her hair up and play with it, if you will. And she did occasionally, but nothing like, I dreamed of. But I would trim her hair once every 6 months, and I would just barely trim anything off of it, like an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches tops. And then her hair would grow like 5-6 inches, like in the next couple months. And so we were doing good at it until they got custody of her, and now she's had her hair cut so much that it's even shorter than mine. And I'm just like, another dream in the trash, thank you, But, it's not completely gone, and it'll never be completely gone. And then Ava's now on the mental kick of she don't want her hair that long, because my mom's taught her to not have it that long. Anyways, I'm going to end this video because it's on over an hour, and yeah, I have to, because if I don't, it'll cut off and it won't load and all that great, wonderful bullshit of society's fucking standards and everything. And I'm going to get off here, and I'm going to try to find something to do. I hope you are having a good day. If you are suicidal, please just try to get up off your ass and do something that you don't want to do. Force yourself to do it. Force yourself to hold on. Force yourself to try. Tomorrow's another day, so on and so forth. Just keep putting your best foot forward. Know that you are important. Know that you are appreciated. Know you have good qualities. And I'll catch you later.